What is up, guys? It is your boy Will, and welcome to another day. It's post-banquet week, and what you're looking at here is a signed football from the one and only Tim Tebow. That is right. He was the keynote speaker at our banquet, which is some of the notes that I'm going to go over, and he signed some items for us, and the CEO of our company gave me one, which is sweet. And he also hooked up the guys that helped me coordinate the event as well, which is really cool. That we just had the opportunity to do that and then get some memorabilia. More than Tim Tebow, like I'm a Tim Tebow fan. I grew up a Georgia fan. He won the national championship with Florida. They're the biggest rivals against each other. Everybody knows about the true deep Southern hate, which is Georgia, Florida. And this ball does have a Florida logo on it, which I told my wife I'm getting a case that's a Georgia case to throw it in there to kind of counteract the Florida Gators logo on it. But anyway, I just want to show that off as like kind of a cool little piece when you host these events and stuff like that. There's cool things that you can get, and so this is just one of those perks right there. And my team did such a good job at organizing and coordinating the event, and it was just phenomenal. And so I lost a camera, my DJI, that has a lot of B-roll footage. This one has some, but I want to throw together some. There's a lot of videos on my shorts. So if you are just super curious right now, those are already posted. You can check them out. I think even some of Tim Tebow's walk-up and stuff like that. So you can check them out. But I was able to grab this cam as a backup and then still film some of the environment and stuff like that. But you're just in the moment. It's so hard to, you're running around, event things are happening. We had a lot of issues. So the first day was absolutely perfect. Literally could not have gone better. Everything was smooth. Things were easy. Lunch went well. The night fair went well. Dinner went well. All of the speakers went well. And like literally everything about it was perfect. Our staging guy was like, this is the smoothest pros event we've ever had. Which is great because it was the biggest scale that we ever had as well. So just super beneficial to have that be that way. But, big but here. The issue is day two. Day two was rough and started off rough. In the middle was rough. And then once the show got started, everything was smooth, which is really nice, except we started about an hour late. So when you start about an hour late, things happen. And it's really tough to make those decisions on the spot. You're thinking through what is the experience like for the attendees, the guests? What is the experience like for the team that's helping put on the show and coordinate with that? What is the experience like for the speakers and, respecting their time and respecting contracts? And there's just a lot of things going into it as well. And then we had 2 people call out sick because both of their dogs were dying or died, which is just crazy. And like that's one of the biggest things. I have notes that I'm going to share, but one of the biggest things we learned through this event was like we're going to be overstaffed at our next event by 4 people, so that which is probably common sense. Like I think if anyone who has hosted main events or large events for a while probably knows like, hey, yeah, you need to be overstaffed by 4 people. And that was a mistake that we learned here. But it's just tough. It really is tough with trying to balance out budgets and being over budget and just different things. So anyway, so yeah, day 2, everything that could go wrong went wrong. I'll kind of walk through. It was storming in Arizona. Fun fact, in Arizona, we have over 300 plus days of pure sunshine. And then I think it maybe rains for an hour, little sprinkles. I'm from Georgia where, 80 days out of the year it rains and 30 of those are like flash floods, or stuff like that. So I know rain and here it sprinkles and it's like the whole place shuts down. But last year's banquet, rewind a little bit to the 2023 awards in 2024. We had to change venues the week of the event because of rain. Fortunately, we had a backup, but we had a whole night or outdoor experience that we were working really hard to build. But because of the rain, we had to move it inside. We had to move venues the same week. So just crazy. But that was early February. Fast forward this year, we moved our banquet to March, middle of March, and it doesn't rain at all, ever. And then all of a sudden, the 2 days of our banquet are the 2 days it rains. It was supposed to rain today, like 100% chance, and it's sunny. I've been out all day. running errands and stuff like that. I went to the office to meet and do a debrief with our CEO. It's like, what the heck? Why? Like, literally the only 2 days it rained here in Arizona were the banquet days, which, blessing or curse, whatever you call it, like, I believe God is in the rain, so I love when it rains. Like, I have a deep connection with rain, but dang, so the rainstorm day one, the power goes out in the building. Now, all the staging and everything is built on generators, but we do rely on some power for the arena, like ribbon boards, and then all the food was on the upper level of the arena, which is accessible via stairs or escalators. Well, the escalators go down, and they are unable to get them fixed the whole night. So now the only option is stairs up to it. So our guests are having to walk 2 flights of stairs basically to upper level of an arena to get their food, which was a sucky experience. But I mean, that's just one of those things you can't control. There's no way you can plan for that, and there's no way you can control that. So, without experience, now it's like, okay, well, now we can ask the question, hey, when the power goes out because it rains, I know it never rains in Phoenix, Arizona, but when the power goes out because it rains, here's what we need to have a plan for this to make sure we have someone on site who can fix those really quickly. Like, questions to ask. Now we know. But so the power goes out, and then we had one of the main people late by about an hour and a half because one, he was just late in general, but then he not only was late, but didn't account for traffic being more crazy because of the rain. But then also the timing. It's Thursday afternoon at 4 p.m., which in Phoenix, that's when people are leaving. So traffic was heavier. Then it's raining. People are driving slower. So it takes longer to get there. So, he is a cornerstone of the event. And so he's an hour and a half late. So we start prep an hour and a half late. And we started prep at like 4:10. And so the rehearsal, the run through. And the doors are supposed to open at 5. Obviously, you guys understand that that's impossible. So we run through, and then we find all these issues with his deck and how it's presented. And so, like, we're live trying to make edits super fast. The team is super stressed. It's like a lot of it I should have caught beforehand. So my team that had done this had done it 2 years prior perfectly. But this was the year they wanted to try something new. We didn't really talk about it because I was like, oh, they know they've built these decks before. They know I don't really need to have that conversation because but the new stuff that they were trying was not in the best experience of the event. I love trying new things. I love experimenting with it. And it's really my fault for not, hey, let's walk through the ideas for this and go through the deck. But it, like, videos would come up for award names, and it was a 13-second thing from the screen starting to when the competition started to then the winner. And that happened for every single person. So when you start having 3 teams or whatever, and you have this wait and delay, and then you have a confidence monitor on the screen that is supposed to show the presenter, hey, what's next? So normally it's a slide. Here's the name of the competition, or we're going for 3rd place for our champs office versus office competition. And then the next slide, they should be able to see who the winner is. So they can start building anticipation. Well, because these were videos and not slides traditionally, he couldn't see who the winner was, and he didn't want to be out there on his phone. So it created this delay, which is just not the way to do it. And I caught it too late. Like, doors are opening in 50 minutes, and we're just now catching these. Like, those are impossible things to overcome change. So we had to be really smart and agile in our decision making and work with Tyler so he knows how to communicate with the audience during some of those delays and figure it out. And so we were able to figure it out. I don't think anyone noticed from the guest pool other than some like light pauses. Another thing we noticed is also during the awards, we were in an arena, people are on the upper levels, and we call their names. It takes way longer to get to the stage. So our award ceremony went way longer because the guys are just freaking farther. They're just gone. So that was also a very interesting thing to run through as well. And be like, awesome, maybe next year we make a reserved seating area for the guys who won awards so that they're close to the stage and they don't have to walk as far, and that speeds up the process a little bit. But yeah, it was nuts. It was taking so long, and we were already, so power goes out, we do the rehearsal, we get the power back on, we do the rehearsal late. We delay doors opening to 5:30 because we're obviously not ready, and the CEO is going through his speech and preparation, making sure that it's right. And obviously we don't want anyone in the arena hearing that live on stage and just flipping through his slides. And so, yeah, we delayed the opening to 5:30. And then when delayed the opening, what became the problem there was they delayed opening like registration and handing out gear as well, which that was a huge miss. That was a huge miss. They should have been registering people as they came up and just not letting them into the arena until the time was. So that actually is no. I just thought of that and I was like, frick, that is actually what happened. So I talked to the team about that, but because we delayed it, they didn't do the registration and getting guys gear early enough. So the line is spanning the whole pavilion area of the arena and taking hours, like literally forever. Literally forever it's taking to get through these lists. So it becomes sick. And then they have to go in, find a seat, then walk upstairs because the escalators are broken, and then start getting food. And that is just a whole, it takes up so much time. So then we open doors at 5:30. Well, an hour goes by at 6:30. There's still a line of people. Really, I think it was like 6:15 or something like that. But there's a line of people in there. And so we're just like having to grab gear and just be like, screw registration. We're not going to, we want, the thing we have to protect most is the guest experience. And right now I'm not going to let these people wait in cold and damp area. They're over the overhang, so they're not really getting wet if like there was light sprinkles, but it was pouring right before they came in. So it's all wet. And so we're just waiting outside in the cold, the wet, waiting to be registered for an hour. I was like, no, that's a horrible guest experience. We have to scrap that. So I was like, just open all the doors, let them in. Let's just put piles of gear out there and free reign. Take whatever you want. And we lost money probably on that because guys probably grabbed 3 things and someone probably didn't get their size. And so we had to take the L on that and turn an L into earning. That's what learning is. We're going to learn from the mistake. And make sure that like that's gonna be one of my whole processes that I walk through with an ops team as we go into the next banquets is like, awesome, what is, let's hammer in on this. We have the staging dialed, we have the experience of the awards dialed, we have keynote speakers dialed, we know production's dialed. How do we optimize registration, make sure we get an accurate head count? How do we get accurate phone numbers from everyone attend so we can send surveys? How do we get all of that information? So anyway, lesson learned from there. So that's taking super long. That's already putting us behind. We start late, and then the awards take longer, and then our CEO has to kind of cut a speech because Tim Tebow was supposed to be on at a specific time. Then it ended up we were probably an hour or 45 minutes past his scheduled time, but his team was super nice, super gracious. They made all the accommodations that we needed them to make, and he stayed longer and later and gave just a baller hour presentation that all of our guys loved. And so anyway, I have my notebook here. I already ran through a lot of it, but just some of the lessons we learned through it as we were going over our event is, the line management at the beginning is massive. That's my number one focus for probably the next event is how do we refine the process of line management and have dedicated people there, dedicated gear, hander outers, making sure that we have enough gear in the area. How much room do we need for the gear so that way we're not having to move stuff from the back room forward. That was a huge miss, I think. Rehearsal, requiring all presentations a week before, making sure we have the decks built, resent, and then making sure everyone is on time for a proper actual rehearsal. Dedicated staff too, because that's the extra bodies and stuff like that, because they're the 2 people that called out, which were on the registration team. So that also held up registrations as well, because we're supposed to have 2 more people there. We're using a software called Pro Presenter now, which is different than previous ways that we have done presentations with the software and stuff. So my team's got to get Pro Presenter and become experts in it, so that way we can build presentations there. The 1 week presentations in advance. And then I already mentioned this, but having award winners reserved seating area. So we know, hey, this group is right next to the area where we're giving trophies, and we can control video guys being in the right place, and we can control making sure that we have a speedy run through. The highlight of the event was we gave away a Porsche, and with raffles, everyone is skeptical. It's like, who knows if the raffle is right or not, or who knows. But the best thing could have happened, because we mixed it up really well, and we gave out 5 prizes beforehand: $500 to our gear store, a MacBook Air, an iPad Air, an iPhone 16 Pro, and then $1,000 cash. And so in each of those, we had guys that weren't in attendance. So part of it is you got to be in attendance to win a raffle. And so we had, this is a good crazy story, oh my gosh. So we had guys that weren't there, but it's all the different groups. So we work on a division, so there's a ton of different groups that are involved in it, and they're all like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh!" Like you hear the crowd, like they call him name, it's like, "Dude, that guy should have been here. We told him to come." And so, but it's also not one isolated group where it's drawing from the same like division or anything like that. Like it's this side of the stadium, then it's this side of the stadium, then it's the back stadium, then it's the upper level stadium. It's just all over the place. As we're eventually giving stuff out there, which is exactly what you want. You want people to believe and know that we didn't rig it and that it's fair and that it could be anybody. And so that was wild. And then we gave away the Porsche, and then 3 people weren't there, I think, on the first 3 polls. It could have been 2, but I think it was 3. 3 people weren't there. Then the 4th guy that we pull, he was at the banquet, but he had left early to go walk his dog. Like a $200,000 value incentive, cash value, 90 grand for a 2-year Porsche lease. And it's during the route, you leave during the part that you're there. And so his team is calling him and being like, he should have won. The rule is you have to be present to win. And while he was physically in Arizona, while he was physically at the banquet for most of the banquet, he left the stadium. He was not in the building. He left the building to go walk his dog, his service dog. And that cost him the Porsche 911 Carrera. It was crazy. But the next person we drew was one of the most deserving guys ever. And everyone in the company loves him. And even people outside of divisions love this guy. And so it was just an incredible opportunity to give the keys over to him and have him be psyched out of his mind to drive a Porsche. A Porsche. But yeah, and that was it. And then, yeah, CEO went up there, did his thing. Tim Tebow did his thing. Got to meet Tim, shake his hand a bunch of times, and have some good one-on-one time and conversations. Talked about my time at Passion City Church in Atlanta, Georgia. Talked about time at Night to Shine. Talked about different things about faith and what it's like for him, and talked to his handler Kevin, or a handler is a loose term, but his representative there, his name Kevin. And Kevin and I both part of Passion City Church and know Louis Giglio and that whole group. And so it was just super fun. It was a super fun experience. Got the signed football, and now I have a legacy piece that remembers my biggest banquet ever, that I spent the most money, that I had a crazy perfect day where everything went right, and a crazy day where everything went wrong, and then unique stories with the awards and how things happen. And so just overall a really solid event. I know this video is like 20 minutes long, and if you've listened to me for 20 minutes, you're crazy. I'm not that interesting. The story is interesting though, for sure. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Check out the shorts. I have a ton of iPhone clips going out there to see the event, physically what I'm talking about, and get an idea for the scale and the magnitude of all the things. But I'll post a photo. I think in my community notes, I think I can do that with me and Tim. So I have proof that he was there and that I was the one there with him. But yeah, just so grateful, so thankful for the opportunities that God gives me, and thankful for his providence. I could be a million other places, but we're here. We're about it. And he's guided the whole journey the whole way. And so I'm just thankful to be a part of it and thankful to be a pro. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Another video tomorrow. Hopefully I hit the gym today. I'm exhausted, which I know is not, but maybe. I've already missed 2 days. I might as well rest up and then hit it early tomorrow. And tomorrow's vlog can be me at the gym, actually holding myself accountable. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Will, and I'll see you. Make sure to subscribe. A lot of content coming out. Peace.